We all know that Timberwolves Nuggets series is going to be really good, and I thought about making a video on that. But since I'm a Bucks fan, I have to make a video on what are the Milwaukee Bucks going to do this offseason. Are they bringing back Doc Rivers? Is Damian Lillard getting traded? What roster moves are we going to get? All that's going to be answered in this video and more. This video is pretty much just going to be me pretending to be the GM of the Bucks, what I would do this offseason, because they're kind of in a tough spot with this first-year guy. Damian Lillard comes in, kind of might have messed up the team chemistry just a little bit. But without Drew Holiday, we looked pretty good the first half. We started the year off with Adrian Griffin, who hadn't been a head coach before. But the players don't like to play for him. They don't really respect his basketball knowledge. So what do? Just stop listening to him in the huddle. Yeah, that sounds like a great, fantastic idea. Now, do I support that? No, but did I like the Doc Rivers signing? Well, it made me nervous. If we were ever up 3-1, I would never be comfortable. We're up 2-0, I would never be comfortable. But I did like it for the regular season because he is a good regular season coach. The problem is, with Doc Rivers, the playoffs have never been a strong suit. In closeout games, he has a losing record, I think. I'm not too sure. I did just look at... They just had it on the screen in Game 4. I'm pretty sure that is the case. And that's never a good thing to have a losing record in a closeout game because he's had some very talented teams like the Magic, the Celtics, the Bucks, the Clippers, like just the Bucks this year, the Clippers and the 76ers obviously being up 3-2 last year, and they somehow choked that game to the Celtics. So, will Doc Rivers be coming back to Milwaukee? I'm in favor, since we're okay with firing coaches midway through the season, as we've seen from Jason Kidd and Adrian Griffin now. So we're okay with firing these guys midway through the season. Why not? But I do want to give names because there are some guys I would rather have. So there's going to be a group of guys. I'm going to name different groups of coaches in the group that I wouldn't mind, would like, and would not like. I'm going to make a Venn diagram. So I'm just going to show you the Venn diagram that I got here. I don't know how well you can read it. Yeah, it's pretty hard to tell. Whatever. I'm just going to get right into it. Guys, I wouldn't want to come near my team are Mike Budenholzer for pretty obvious reasons since he doesn't make adjustments. And then 3 other guys, Kenny Atkinson, Frank Vogel, and I'm blanking on his name, but the Heat assistant coach. I didn't feel like looking it up. All pretty obvious reasons why I want them on my team. Like Frank Vogel can't lead a team past the championship that isn't in a bubble. And then there's 3 guys, also Doc Rivers is in this category, that I wouldn't mind bringing in, but I feel like there's better options. Like, I wouldn't be excited. Like, this is how I felt about Adrian Griffin. Like, I wouldn't be hyped about it, but I wouldn't be mad. David Altman needs to be a coach somewhere. He could be a potential Mike Brown. This Nuggets guy knows how to win championship. He's learned from Michael Malone, just like Mike Brown learned from Steve Kerr. He could bring a lot of knowledge and new energy into the team. Darvin Ham. I wouldn't be mad because he was great in Milwaukee, found success in LA, just not enough to keep his job, obviously, as he was just fired just a couple hours ago. He had success in Milwaukee. He had some sort of success in LA. He was able to lead a team to the conference finals last year. But there's reasons why he's fired, and there's reasons why people say he can't be a head coach. I personally wouldn't be mad if we gave him a shot, but I wouldn't be very happy. And then Joe Prunty. He's been okay when he subs in for us, like in 2018. He subbed in when we fired Jason Kidd. When we fired Adrian Griffin, he subbed in for a couple games. I like Joe Prunty. I don't know about y'all, but Joe Prunty, I think, is a very good assistant and a fine coach. I think he could do better things than Doc. I think he would do worse things than Doc. I think he's got a lot of respect for the guys. I think the guys on the team really respect him. So if that was really the problem with Adrian Griffin, we could have just rocked with Joe Prunty the entire season and saw where we go. But we wanted to bring in Doc because we thought we were the 2016 Cavs with Ty Lue. Turns out we're not. Then there's 4 guys I would rather bring in than Doc, which are pretty great options. Terry Stotts, fantastic assistant for us. Doc Rivers wasn't too big a fan of him, we all know. But Terry Stotts would be a great manager or a great coach to just come in, teach them boys up, and really just keep good vibes in the locker room and hopefully bring in this year 2 energy that the team needs to hopefully lead them to a championship. Quinn Snyder, good regular season coach like Doc Rivers, but I think he's actually a good, smart coach. He wants to draw up the plays. He thinks he knows he has a lot of NBA knowledge, so he doesn't always ask the players like, hey, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? So that's why I don't think he's going to go to the Lakers if the Jazz do and indeed fire him. But if they don't, but if they do, I'd like to see him come into Milwaukee because he's got just such a high basketball IQ. I'd really like to see him here. All right, and then a guy who I would really like to hire before these two guys, which is Jerry Stackhouse. He was a player, which Doc played. Doc did play a little, but like he didn't play like Stackhouse, who's an all-star. Okay, he didn't almost have a 30-point per game season at 01. He wasn't leading guys. He wasn't almost the MVP. None of these guys on this list are almost MVP caliber guys. Jerry Stackhouse should have the respect of the players for that reason, because he was a great player in like Detroit. He was all-star twice in Detroit. And then you've got his analyst game. I think he coached at Vanderbilt. I think they fired him this offseason. But Jerry Stackhouse would be just a fantastic option for us. He played in Milwaukee, I believe, later in his career, like 2009, maybe 2010, around that time. He was, not the same guy that he once was, but he could still come off the bench and give us probably 7 to 10 points a game. And that would make him probably connect with the fans a little bit, and that would probably help him create a relationship with the players because he had been here. He's played in the Bucks. He knows what Bucks culture is all about. So who knows? I think Jerry Stackhouse would be great because he knows a lot about the game. He's like Quinn Snyder, but he was actually a great player. Then my number one guy, because I just love his podcast, and I know he's looking for the job with the Hornets right now. You already know who I'm thinking is JJ Redick. Great podcast, great analyst. I can't believe he's leaving Mike Breen. Like, how do you just leave Mike Breen? Mike Breen is the greatest commentator, in my opinion, in NBA modern history. I could throw Mark Jackson on here. He had some great calls like the one with LeBron and Savannah, like this one.
I'm shocked you downplayed Savannah. He said she was all city. James again from downtown. And I'd hit out the park, no question.
But that's just out of pocket. Like, who really cares if he says that? That's not gonna, that's like some Ime Udoka kind of stuff. Like, that's not what we need. We need Brad Stevens level of professionalism. We need that Joe Mazzulla mentality. That's what we're going for, because the Celtics have went to the finals more recent than us. Now, if we would have beat them in that game 6, we'd be the ones in the finals that year, and we probably would have beat the Warriors, because who's guarding Giannis Antetokounmpo? But let's not get sidetracked. JJ Redick would be a great coach. Obviously, the guy should respect his IQ. All he does is talk X's and O's with LeBron on that podcast. Do I understand what he's saying? Yeah, but do I really understand most of what he's saying and take it in and am able to really think about it? No, but I get the base value stuff. JJ is such a great mind, and I know he's young. It's like hiring when the Nets hired Steve Nash. He's never getting a job again. So this is either going to be like Adrian Griffin. Success or failure. I think it would be more success because JJ Redick has a history of winning. He's got a history of being a winner, and I think he wants to help a team win like the Hornets or the Lakers or somebody who needs a coach. That's my thoughts on the coaching situation. That's really the biggest thing. Doc Rivers, is he coming back? Is he not? I don't know. Let's get into some roster adjustments. All right, then finally let's talk about who's staying on the team and who we should be trading and who we should be trading for and targeting this offseason. All right, the locks for staying. In my opinion, Damian Lillard is a lock for staying for obvious reasons. Like, come on. Why? Why would he not stay? He was just talking about how he was excited for his second season. Let's give him that second season, okay? Please. Please. Giannis and Chris. Locks. These three are locks because they're the best trio in the NBA. I don't care if the Celtics win the championship, the Nuggets win their second. They are the best trio in the NBA when healthy and when Chris is playing at his best, like he just was in the playoffs. Okay? Hopefuls. I hope we bring back Pat Bev before any of these guys. He really showed like a Milwaukee intensity, like a Milwaukee mentality. I really liked it. He liked it here, I hope, and I hope we can make this like an end of career home for him. Love to see that, but there's other guys who I really hope we bring back, like Bobby Portis, who I thought might have got traded at the trade deadline, but we were able to keep him around, and he played great for us in the playoffs, having 20 and 15 in our Game 6 closeout game for the Pacers, but he had a good second half of the season after, and he was playing okay before, so I'm not mad about keeping him. Malik Beasley showed what he had, and he really could have went somewhere else, got more money, but he came to Milwaukee on a pay cut because he wanted a bigger role, and we gave him that bigger role, and we let him shine. He had his best season, in my opinion, of his career. Jay Crowder, who I don't think will want to come back to Milwaukee, but I don't know. He just, I'm on the fence about it because he didn't want to be here last year. He came back, and then, well, obviously things didn't go exactly how he wanted. He wanted some more minutes in the rotation. He wasn't able to get that. But he didn't play that great for us, but I'd still like to see him back in a Bucks uniform next season. Andre Jackson Jr. has got to come back. Now, I don't know if he will because it's a good young player who a lot of teams would be like, oh, if you want us to do this trade, we want Andre Jackson on our team. And then it's kind of like yeah, I don't know. Let me think about it. He's a good young player. We need the perimeter defense. Unless we're trading for a guy like later, as you see on my list, like Alex Caruso, I'll just come out and say it. Then we probably don't need him, but it's still nice to have good perimeter defense. So that's why I'm in the hopeful tier that he doesn't get traded and we bring him back. Now the guys that I'm hoping we use for some trade targets this offseason, Brook Lopez. He's getting old. He's not as good like last year. Oh, he would have been in my locks for staying. He was like an all-star level guy last year, defensive player of the year level guy last year. Great player. I just don't want him to be our starting center. I'll just be honest with you. I just don't want him to be our starting center. Jean Beauchamp. I know Bucks fans love this guy more than I do. Like most Bucks fans are big fans of him, but he's just not that good. Okay, I'll come on and say he's just not that good, and he didn't take the step I wanted him to. If by his third year he's not a consistent rotation guy, then he didn't even play in the playoffs. Then he can go because he's not helping us win games, and he's probably going to help another team out more, which means his value on their team is higher than ours, which I bet he would want to go somewhere where he's valued highly. And the last guy who I was putting hopefuls, but well, actually Thanasis, but we all know he's not getting traded. He's hopefully getting traded, so if that's what this tier is, that's what he is for. But we know he has the job security of the Supreme Court Justice as long as Giannis is on the Bucks. Pat Connaughton is my last guy. I almost kept him in the hopefuls. He's a smart basketball player, but he just takes a lot of shots that I don't really like. His shot selection isn't the best. He's okay at defense. He's just getting a little old. We just need to revamp, get a little bit younger. I did like the guy, but I think your time in Milwaukee is coming up, Pat. All right, here's some guys I'm hoping we really trade for since, well, we probably need to do some stuff after being back-to-back first-round exits. Like, a contending team doesn't just lose in the first round and do nothing. Like, look what just happened last year. We traded for Damian Lillard and got rid of Drew Holiday. Big changes were coming, and big changes might not be coming as large in size, but big changes still should happen to the roster, including bringing in one of the three or all three or two or probably none because it's probably in my fictional fantasy that this happens, but bringing in some of these Chicago Bulls, Nikola Vucevic, Andre Drummond, and Alex Caruso. Oh, Alex Caruso is number one on the list, but if we trade Brook Lopez, we need a center. Vucevic would be a perfect replacement for him. Then you got other dudes just like Gary Trent Jr., fill that perimeter defensive spot, hit some threes, pretty much like Malik Beasley, but better. Jordan Clarkson, he was Sixth Man of the Year just a couple years ago. We all know we can hoop. He could definitely start for us and fill some big gaps. Jalen Hood-Strafino, young kid who probably isn't getting the playing time he should have got in LA this year. So hopefully he can come in, make some changes for us, hopefully, and bring like a little bit more youth to the team because we're one of the oldest teams in the league. Precious Achiuwa, the Knicks won't really use. They're using him a little bit in their run, but like I'd be okay with any of their centers. Obviously, I'm just going with the most realistic one because Precious Achiuwa is more realistic than getting Mitchell Robinson or Isaiah Hartenstein because those just aren't realistic candidates for the job that we're probably going to give them to. Naz Reid is next on the list because he needs to be a starter. He's too good to be sitting on the bench of the Timberwolves anymore. He needs to start, and Milwaukee, I'd rather have him than Brook next season. I love Splash Mountain. This is not me knocking on Splash Mountain, but Naz Reid could be the future center of the team, just like Derek Lively could. Now, I know you're like, whoa, why would the Mavericks ever want to trade him? Because they just got Daniel Gafford, so Daniel Gafford or Derek Lively, I don't care which one. I prefer Lively, obviously, because he's younger and probably has a bigger ceiling. But if Derek Lively is not available and Daniel Gafford is, because they don't need both these starting caliber quality or whatever you want to say centers, we'll take one. Another guy who I hope they're looking past and trading, and because we're rivals with them, Jaden Ivey, could bring some serious energy to the bench or the starting lineup next season. Pistons have too many talented guards, in my opinion, to just sit this guy on the bench. He needs to get some more PT. And in Milwaukee, we can definitely make that happen, Jaden. Bruce Brown, we saw what he can do with the Nuggets. Why not bring him into our team and hopefully get him another ring? Bruce Brown was one of the key components of that Nuggets 2023 championship. Adding him to our team is just fueling the fire of a finals run, in my opinion, at least. Lonnie Walker, we saw what he did with the Lakers in game, I think it was 6 or 5 last year, where he was absolutely cooked up, or was it 4? He's absolutely cooked the Warriors and ended their season, maybe, just really ended their playoff hopes and dreams of going to the next round. And, well, that's just who Lonnie is. He comes in at different times and does different stuff, and he hits threes, plays decent defense. I don't know. He's had one good playoff game in his career. If we get one good playoff game like that, we can definitely have a good shot at getting out of the first round next year. Shadiq Bey, next on the list, bigger guard, which, okay, I'll definitely take that. We need guys who can play defense. He's got that long wingspan, and, well, he might not be the quickest. He can still shoot the crap out of that basketball. Next 2 guys are on the Wizards. Actually, I'm going to add a third one, Corey Kispert. It's not too realistic, but we could really use a 3-level scorer on our team who can just score all the way around the basket. Mid-range, bunnies, threes, whatever you need. Plays decent defense. I take that any day of the week. Bringing these 2 guys home, though, hopefully, because they both played colleges in Wisconsin. Johnny Davis, Patrick Baldwin Jr. I'd like to see them both come back. I think we should have drafted Patrick Baldwin Jr. 2 years ago. And Johnny Davis we were never going to draft because he was too high. But he's been struggling in Washington, and I think we can help him out. And it shouldn't take too much to get these young guys because they haven't had the best start to their career. Okay, that is everything. That's wrapping up the video. This is kind of a long one. This is kind of, I don't know how much edits this is going to be put into. But this is not just a ramble video. This is kind of a recap video. So yeah. Recapping the Bucks season. Let's see what the team looks like next year. Out of all those guys, if we're going to get one of them, I hope we get Alex Caruso. That's it for me, though. I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. I don't know when that's going to be, but hopefully in the next week. I guess probably this weekend I'd be able to put out a video. So yeah, that's going to be it for me. I'll be seeing you guys in the next one.